Hello, this is Joel. I wanted to take just a couple moments to remind you of the fact, and many of you already know about this smart-alec comment of mine here that you play just like Bryson. Okay, now obviously there's some things about that statement that do not have any truth. So that's why I say it's kind of a smart-alec statement. But many of you know, and I just want to reiterate to you, if you know this already, and introduce this to you if you don't know it already, that the same principles apply to your PGA scores as to Bryson's. So that's why I say you play just like Bryson, you play just like Tiger, you play just like Rory. All these things are true because on every golfer's personal PGA bell curve, some same principles apply. And I'm going to show you that here in this video today. So if you're not familiar with my PGA bell curve, PGA stands for poor, good, average. Then if you shoot about 90 on average, and that's at the top of your bell curve, and you play poorly, you shoot about 100. And if you play well, you shoot about 85. That's what your bell curve looks like. Now, some bell curves are a little flatter than others. People who are more consistent will have a bell curve that's more vertical. People who have wider variances in their scores will have a flatter bell curve. But the same principle applies. We all have a personal bell curve. And then if the top of your bell curve is about 85, if that's about kind of your average score, and maybe you play poorly, you shoot 95, and if you play well, you shoot 80, then that's your bell curve. And then here, let's say the top of your bell curve is 80, your bad side of your bell curve, your poor side is 90, your good side is 75. I want everybody to appreciate that everybody who shoots these scores was at one point here and at one point here. So that's a good way to think about it, I've found over the years. And what I'm going to show you is that I have charted rounds for tour players in the Masters for the last few years on the exact same scorecard I use for myself and with y'all when you have a plan lesson with me. So when Bryson and you have almost zero bozo shots and you make a couple extra putts, you will have a good round about 65% of the time. And if you have almost zero bozo shots and you make a couple extra putts, only about a third of the time will that turn out to be an average round for you, and only about 5% of the time would that turn out to be a poor round for you. So in a very real sense, we have found what it takes to play good golf on your personal bell curve, and also on the bell curve for Bryson and Tiger and Rory and Bernhard Langer and Jack Nicklaus, everybody. So I want to take you through this a little bit. This, on our right, the one that has the color here is the little simpler statistics. The one on our left that has a little more complexity to it, I've had more information here on that one piece of paper for Bryson's 18 holes earlier today. So I'm going to take you through this first one, the one that's a little simpler first, and show you that earlier today, Bryson shot 34 on the front nine, even though he had 3 bozo shots. He had a drive out of play on number 7. He had 2 3-putts. He 3-putted number 8 and he 3-putted number 9. So his 34, I would say, is about average for him on his PGA, on his personal bell curve. I thought if he played poorly, he could shoot 39. If he played good, he would shoot about 31. If he played average, he'd shoot about 35. So you see, he shot 34, about average. But if he didn't have these 3 bozo shots, he'd have shot 31, then we'd be saying he played well, right? And likewise, you can see, I'm having a little trouble seeing this on the bottom. I hope you can see it. See if I can find a way to, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you that. But across the bottom here, he shot 31 on his back nine. And, well, I hope you're seeing this. Oh, yeah, there. Now maybe you can see it. Or at least I can see it. He shot 31 on his back nine. He did have one bozo shot. He had a drive out of play on 17. So without that, he would have shot 30, which would be, 97%. So that'd be an A in school. Just like on the front nine, 31 out of 34, no bozo shots is 91%. So that'd be an A in school. But I'd like you to appreciate that he, on the front nine, was only 25 out of 32 at golf success. So that's 78%. So that'd be a C in school. Whereas and 25 out of 32, I get that by adding his 10 out of 15 at golf success in his full swing and his 15 out of 17 at golf success in his short game. So you add that up, that's 25 out of 32. So he was only 78%. So that would be like a C in school at getting real golf success for all of his shots, his drives, his layups, pitch outs, his approaches, pitch, chips, and putts. Whereas on the back nine, look at this. He was 25 out of 27. So that would be 93% in school. So that would be an A. So you see, he really had more golf success on the back nine. That's part of the reason, right? He shot 3 shots lower. But also, I would say it's because he only had one bozo shot. That's the most important thing. Without that bozo shot, he shoots 30. Then we'd be saying he played good. And he did actually shoot 31. So we're saying he played good. And I'm saying it's mainly because he had fewer bozo shots and he made a couple extra putts. And I'll show you that on the next slide. So it's pretty simple here. You get a plus if you have golf success according to the simple definition here. If you didn't have golf success according to the simple definition here, you get a 0. You see on the front nine, he only hit 4 out of his 8 approaches, left a putt or a chip. 5 out of his 5 pitches, though, got on the green. 7 out of his 9 first putts were perfect. Those 2 times the putt wasn't perfect, it contributed largely to that 3 putt he had on 8 and 9. So that's why his round turned into an average round on the front rather than a good one. Whereas on the back, you see 6 out of 7 of his drives were in play. He had no layups or pitch outs. And all 9 of his approaches left a putt or a chip for his next shot. So as a result, he had no pitches and no chips on that back 9. And then 8 out of his 9 first putts were perfect distance. The only time he didn't have a perfect first putt was on number 13. So that's why he was 25 out of 27, just about a perfect round in many ways on that back 9. And then when you look at a little more details of that back 9, when I give you a little more detail here, it becomes even more amazing at what he did. So everybody thinks, boy, Bryson is just incredible. He hits the ball a mile, all those kinds of things. And that's true, of course. But also what I would show you is that he's a phenomenal short game player, right? To shoot those kind of scores at Augusta National, you have to be, and to be the player he is. And this shows you, remember on the back 9, he had no pitches and no chips because 9 out of his 9 approaches left a putt or a chip for his next shot. And then 8 out of his 9 first putts were perfect distance. So look at this. When he pitched it from 18 yards, he pitched it to 3 feet. When he pitched it from 23 yards, he pitched it to 5 feet. From 17 yards to 4 feet. From 18 yards to 13 feet. And from 22 yards to 4 feet. And he one-putted all of them. So he did not have a 2-putt until he got to the 6th hole. Very interesting. So he was doing great there. And again, what kept him from having a good round on the front was that he was a little off with his distance control on his first putt on number 8 and 9 that led to his 3-putt. But beyond that, he did some phenomenal short game stuff on that front 9. And on the back 9, he made a couple extra putts there. He made a 31-footer, made a 10-footer. If he doesn't make those, he shoots 33, and then we're saying he's a little more like an average round. So again, see, he had a good round because he had very few bozo shots, only one, and he made a couple extra putts. Made a 10-footer, made a 17-footer, made a 31-footer. So that's what it takes to have a good round. And it's the exact same thing for you. If your bell curve, the top of your bell curve is 100, it's the same for you. You have fewer bozo shots and you make a couple extra putts, that's when you've had good rounds in the past. And that's a fact. I have thousands of scorecards to prove that to you. And I just want you to appreciate this as you begin to watch the Masters over the next few days, that everybody on the bell curve, when you have something good down here, it's because you've had fewer bozo shots than normal and you've made a couple extra putts. 65% of the time is what's happened when you've had your good round on your good side bell curve. So it tells us, right? Enjoy your good misses with your full swing and keep getting perfect distance in your short game. Get that drive in play, get that pitch on the green, and make that first putt the perfect distance. And you may even start to have scores closer and closer to Bryson's scores. I don't know about 65 for 18 holes, but it'll definitely get better and better on your bell curve over time. So again, really enjoy watching the Masters this weekend and keep watching for that. Is their drive in play? Did they get their pitch on the green? And did they hit their first putt the perfect distance? If not, you're probably going to see them making a bogey or a double or a triple. Thanks. Have a great time this weekend. Take care.